Alright, what's up YouTube? Gotta talk loud, gotta remember that. How's everybody doing? Probably not that good, with like how bad inflation is getting and how expensive everything is nowadays. How hard it is to just survive. But we're going to talk about but I hope everybody's trying to make the best of things, and hopefully something good will come out of this. Alright, so basically, Americans are broke, and Americans, they don't have money for basic shit. So, I mean, anybody can look around them, and they can see what's going on around them. It's like really bad right now. Anybody here, anybody watching this video can probably understand and sympathize, but it's just really hard to survive nowadays. A lot of Americans, you talk to anybody, and a lot of people are broke. They don't have money for like basic shit, and you just hear about people like they just talk about, oh, I don't have money to pay the rent, or I don't have money to pay my car. I don't have money to pay the electricity bill. I don't have money to buy groceries. Americans really, they do not have money for like just basic necessities, and just people are just like struggling to survive. And it does not make sense how this is supposedly the richest country in the world, right? This is the world's richest superpower in the world, the most powerful country in the world. This is supposedly the richest country in the world, and people do not even have money to buy their freaking groceries or to pay their rent. And it's just ridiculous. How can we be in the richest country in the world and people are working their butts off, and it's like not enough? And they're working their butts off and they don't have enough money, and they have to go around and they're like stressed out, like, oh my god, I don't have money to pay my rent. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get kicked out of my house. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get kicked out of the house. And then like you look at these people's refrigerators, you look in their fridges, there's like literally no food in the fridge. There's no food in the pantry. Jesus Christ. And these people are about to get kicked out of their house. They're like 1 week away, the rent is due. They don't have the money to pay for the rent. So what are they gonna do? Their fridge is empty. There's no food in their fridge. They're about to get kicked out of their house, so because they did not pay the rent. So they're going to be homeless on the street with no food to eat. And this is like, Jesus Christ, this is the richest freaking country in the freaking world. How are people just struggling with just basic necessities like freaking food? There is no food in the fridge. Alright? Like, there's no food in the pantries. This is ridiculous. And then they're not paying their electricity bill. Like, their electricity's about to be shut down. They're going to live in a house with no electricity. Even if they do pay the rent, there's no electricity in the freaking house. Jesus Christ. And they're not paying their car payments. How are they supposed to go to work if they don't pay off their car, and then the repo men take their car away? They don't even get paid enough to use the cars that they need to get to work. And just quality of life is not that good. And then the people that are able to scrape by barely, like, it's not even that good. Like, you see these people, like, they're barely scraping by. Even the people that are paying their bills, look at the stuff they have. It's so, like, they live in like beat down apartments. There's like holes in the ceiling. There's freaking cables hanging out of the ceiling. It's like some old ringy dingy house. It's like not even like a top of the line house. It's just like a basic kitchen, a basic living room, just like a basic like shower, like just driving like an old beat 'em up car like made in like 1995 or something, 1985, some old beat 'em up car, some old beat 'em up house that was made like 50 years ago and has not been renovated since, a bunch of holes in the ceiling, or just old like outdated like technology from like the 70s and 80s, like just old outdated houses with holes in the roof, cables hanging from the ceiling, old like outdated technology, and it's not even like state-of-the-art technology. It's like, it's not like people are like using state-of-the-art like freaking technology like electric cars or like hydrogen cars. It's not like people are driving hydrogen cars. People are still driving old beat 'em up gas-powered cars that were like made in like the 70s or the 80s, and it's like, and the houses are just old and they're small and cramped, and it's like and people are like paying like $1,000, like $2,000 for like these mediocre houses that are not even that good. Like, what the heck is going on? And it's like, it's not even like state-of-the-art like bathrooms. It's not like there's like a freaking jacuzzi in the bathroom like massaging your butt cheeks. Like, there's like, it's not even like state-of-the-art like pressurized like steam showers, you know, like that use like geothermal like heating. It's not even like, it's just old outdated like a crappy like little ringy-dingy rusty shower like in the back of the attic or something. It's like come on, this is America. This is like the richest country in the world. And then people got some old outdated laundry machines that break down after a couple weeks, or I don't know, some crappy internet that's like that's always like shutting off or shutting down, or just the electricity is always shutting down, turning off. Their electricity is turning off on them randomly in the middle of the night. And it's just like old freaking crappy internet that's not even fast. It's not even like fiber optic internet. It's like crappy like copper cables like made from the 1800s. Like old outdated freaking copper cables for freaking internet connection, for television. Like, there's no, like, dude, why are Americans paying like $2,000-$3,000 for all of this like just substandard like quality of life in, supposedly, this is supposed to be the richest country in the world, right? Old beat 'em up cars breaking down, you know, after a couple months or something. Like, dude, like, you would think, oh, the more money you pay, like, the better quality your life should be, but not for Americans. Americans are just overpaying for just substandard, just like mediocre, sub-mediocre, fucking crappy, like housing and cars and just a quality of life. It's so stupid. And working is not enough. Americans are working 2-3 jobs, working 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. They don't have time for anything else. They don't even have time. They don't even have time to go to the mall and buy themselves nice clothes. They don't even have, like, they're overworking for like a crappy paycheck, and like they don't even have time to take care of themselves, to eat good quality food, to go to the mall and buy good, nice, good quality clothes. Americans don't even have the money or the time to do any of that stuff, even if they wanted to, because they're working 2 or 3 jobs, and it's still not enough to pay for all the bills. They're working 2 or 3 jobs, and it's still not enough to put food on the table. It's not even enough to freaking survive. What the heck is going on in America? This is supposed to be the richest country in the world. What the hell is going on? The richest, most powerful country in the world. People work in these 2 or 3 jobs. They get crapped on by just like douchebags and self-entitled pricks that want to make their lives more miserable than they already are. They got to deal with their douchebag bosses that have to treat them like shit and just step all over them and shit all over them because they know they can do that, because they know that their workers need the money, because if they don't get the money, they're going to get kicked out of their houses and they're going to be homeless, living on the streets. They're going to starve to death. So they can just push their workers around and treat their workers like crap because they know they can get away with it, because they know their workers are desperate for the money. They need the money to survive so they do not die, starve to death and die. This country has gone down the shitter. United States has gone down the shitter. And it really makes me upset to see this. The reason why it's supposed to be like this is because minimum wage is supposed to be $120 an hour. Why are Americans struggling? Because American salaries have not kept up. American salaries have not kept up with inflation. Back in 1955, when the dollar was still backed by real money, gold. When money was backed, when the cash, dollars were backed by real money, gold, the government could not just be irresponsible and just print lots of dollars and create hyperinflation or create inflation. Might as well be hyperinflation. The dollar was kept in check, and inflation was kept in check, and people back in the 50s had a really good life. 1955. It was what was it? It used to be 5 cents to get like a burger or something, right? Back in the 50s, 1955. Minimum wage was $1. So, like, what? You work for $1, you can buy yourself like 20 burgers or something? Well, minimum wage is $7 now. Minimum wage only gets you, like, well, you work for an hour, you only get like one burger now. Because like a burger nowadays is 5, 6, 7, some are like $10. And I'm making a video right now, hold on. But yeah, but if minimum wage had kept up with inflation, minimum wage should be about $120 right now. So like, you know, back then people had it good. People had good quality cars, good quality houses, you know, good quality, they had, you know, nobody had to worry about starving to death because burgers were only like 5 cents back in the day. Life was good back in the 50s. People they dressed nice. People wore nice, good clothes. You know, the 50s was a good time. And now, but it's like, but can you imagine if minimum wage had kept up with inflation? So if minimum wage was supposed to be $120 now, and I made that calculation based off the national debt, because national debt is basically how many dollars were printed by the government. The national debt back in 1955, oh man, it was really low. I don't remember. It was really low. I have to look it up. But I divided the national debt of today by like 1955. And I know the national debt in 1980 was 800 billion. So it was probably less back in 1955, a lot less. But now the national debt is like 33 trillion. So maybe the national debt back in 1955 was like 100 billion, or was it 50 billion? But now the national debt is 33 trillion, about. So we've printed so many more dollars since 1955. We printed way more inflation. There's way more inflation, created way more dollars. And that's why everything's like so much now. But so I divided national debt of today, divided by national debt of 1955, and by those estimates, minimum wage was $1 back in 1955, so minimum wage now, keeping up with inflation, should be at least $120 an hour. And that's just the minimum wage. That's just the bare minimum. But even minimum wage back in the 1950s, you were living a damn good life, you know? Like, so, can you imagine if you made $120 minimum wage nowadays? We'll go with $100 to make it easier, to make an easier estimate. So $100, you work like, I don't know, 40 hours a week. Well, let's, you know, not even 40 hours, we'll say 30 hours a week. You're working part-time. You're working part-time 30 hours a week. 30 times 100. That's about 3,000, isn't it? 4 weeks in a month. 3 times 4. That's $12,000. Can you imagine how good your quality of life would be if you were making $12,000 a month? Like, I don't think anybody would be complaining working, or, you know, working 30 hours a week, making $12,000 a month. Can you imagine how good? Nobody's going to be complaining. Everybody is going to be living the good life. Can you imagine, like, that's how rich we were back in the 50s. We were a very rich country. That we were so rich, we were making about like $12,000. No, even more than that, probably $16,000 because they were working full-time 40 hours a week. But imagine, yeah, $12,000. What could you buy? Like, rent is not going to be an issue. People paying $1,000, $2,000 a month for rent, not even an issue. Buying groceries, not even an issue. Going out to eat, not an issue. Buying yourself a nice, good quality car, not an issue. Making $12,000 a month, not an issue. There is no problem whatsoever. Everybody's going to be living the good life, making $12,000 a month. Like, you know, and people are like, well, people need to stop going out and spending money going out and eating. We are the richest country in the world. If people want to go out and eat every once in a while and have a good time, people should be able to do that. If they want to go out and eat at a nice restaurant. If people want to go to the mall and get some nice, good clothes, good quality, nice clothes, fancy clothes, they can do that. In the richest country in the world, you should be able to do that every now and then. But in the richest country in the world, you're not even able to do stuff like that. Just stuff like that. People cannot even go out to eat at a nice restaurant every once in a while. Not even in the richest country in the world. But with $12,000 a month, you could do that. You can eat good quality food. You can buy nice clothes. You can buy a nice car. You can live in a nice, updated, state-of-the-art technology house. A good quality house with good modern technology. All right? You know? But, so yeah, this country's screwed. So why, I mean, well, everybody knows, so why is it like this? Why did Americans go from being so rich to so broke? And it's because of the stupid government. Well, a huge part of is the government. Like, the government keeps spending money on stupid stuff, alright? The government spent about $8 trillion on the war on terrorism ever since the year 2000. All right, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, whatever countries over there. We spent like $8 trillion over there, like blowing stuff up, and shooting stuff up, and just bombs and explosions and guns and tanks, and, you know, paying people to go over there and blow stuff up and shoot stuff up, and, you know, and just so stupid. And it was just like what was accomplished out of it? Like, why are we even in Afghanistan? Why are we even in the Middle East? These people, we blew $8 trillion. What the hell are you going to do with $8 trillion? We blew $8 trillion on some people on the other side of the country living in fucking mud houses and like shitting in like dirt holes. Like, why the hell did we spend $8 trillion on some people that they don't even know how to use a toilet? Alright, from what I heard, Afghanistan people don't even know how to properly use a toilet. They don't even know how to, like, properly wipe their asses. There's shit all over the walls, there's shit all over the floor and the ceiling. They don't even know how to properly use a toilet. Alright? And they live in mud houses, and they beat the shit out of their wives. They're wife beaters. So they're too busy beating their wives, living in mud houses, shitting in holes, dirt holes. Why the fuck are we wasting our time spending trillions of dollars on this country? They don't even want the help. They even said it themselves. They don't want the help, okay? They they're having too much fun beating their wives, all right? They don't want the help, all right? The Taliban, they don't want the help. They just want the Americans to just go away. They don't even want our help. Why are we wasting our time and our money, $8 trillion, on some wife beaters who don't even want our help, all right? And like, okay, they blew up. What was the reason why? Supposedly, it was the war on terrorism, right? Because of 9/11. But then, you know, other people are saying because it's for oil. All right? But okay, so we went to war with them because of the Twin Towers? I mean, okay, but but the Twin Towers, okay, so the Twin Towers, we lost like 1,000, 2,000 people from the 9/11. But think of all the lives that were lost from the war, from 20 years in the war. You know, like being in Afghanistan. Imagine all of the American lives that were lost fighting the war. We lost more American lives, like, we destroyed more American lives, like, in the war, from 9/11. Now, I'm sorry what happened in 9/11. Like, I hope, I'm sorry for what, it's horrible what happened, but we destroyed, like, if the terrorist goal was to destroy America, they kind of succeeded in a way, because we spent so much money on the Afghanistan war on terrorism that we single-handedly destroyed the country from the inside out. You know, we spent so much money, and now everybody is broke, and now everybody is just don't even have money for food. So if the terrorist goal was to destroy America, they kind of won in a way, because now Americans are broke because the government keeps spending all this money on the war on terrorism. So I don't know. I mean, but our infrastructure's crumbling. People don't have money for food. Americans homeless, living on the streets, living under a bridge, sleeping out in the freezing cold in the middle of winter on the street. Like, I guess the terrorists won. They wanted to destroy America, and, well, I guess they won. But so this is not going to work. All right, everybody, the government is going to continue to be irresponsible with the money. They're going to continue to print more dollars, and there will continue to be more inflation, and it will continue to get worse and worse. You know, to the, I don't know, it costs like $6 to buy a bag of chips nowadays. This is freaking ridiculous. So I don't know, like, inflation's gonna get worse. Who knows? It's gonna be $10 to buy a bag of chips, but it's not even full. It's like half empty. So the best thing that Americans can do now, get out of the dollar. The government is going to continue to print dollars into oblivion. They're going to keep spending the American people's cash, the American people's money, until they are completely broke and living on the streets. Get out of the dollar, because that is where inflation is coming from. The government is creating more dollars, creating more inflation, spending your money. Get out of the dollar, buy gold and silver, protect whatever wealth is left. All right, we're not going to be able to get back the wealth that we lost, but we can at least try to preserve the wealth that we do have. Get into gold and silver, protect the wealth that you do have. Get into gold and silver, what's left. Support the Venus Project. You know what would really be best? Support the Venus Project. A society, housing is free, electricity is free, and food is free, and, you know, humans are free to live life as they wish. They don't have to worry about paying bills. They don't have to worry about starving to death. They don't have to worry about surviving. They don't have to be worried about getting kicked out on the streets. Everything is for free. The majority of the work will be done by machines. The machines will build our houses, cook our food, you know, and generate our energy through clean energy like solar panels and hydrogen or wind energy, clean energy, and humans are just free to live life as they wish. And food is free, housing is free, electricity is free, everything's free. People are free to live life as they wish, to reach their utmost potential in a world where they don't have to worry about struggling to survive or struggling to put food on the table. So thank you everybody for watching. Have a good one. Peace.